good evening, everybody. I think I need to adjust my microphone settings. And good evening, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Super Speedway Super Truck Series here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 90 laps is our scheduled race distance here tonight. Drivers just now getting onto the track to put their qualifying lap into the racetrack to see where they will start this evening. And I had to kind of do a couple of last second things to make the broadcast work, hence me being a little flustered. So apologies there, but glad you all are here. Saying kind of perfect timing, run Atlanta right after the NASCAR Atlanta race. And kind of I hope we have a finish like the Atlanta race tonight, but I also hope we don't have some of the other stuff that we had like the actual Atlanta race. No spoilers though, because Chad is probably watching it on his VCR, so I can't give it away. And yeah, Jack, I hope you are enjoying Troutville, Virginia. I hope the fish there are good, because I'm going to just have to go out on a limb and say that's what Troutville, Virginia should have. And yeah, Ahia, I don't know about that one. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong there, but do my best. And then Mr. Jacob Lee, one of our highlighter bros here tonight. Good evening as well to you, sir. And of course, everybody else that is watching. Hope you're all having a wonderful evening, finishing up our weekend before we get back to the work week. And we are almost in March. So tonight, 90 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. There will be one fast repair available for all drivers, 3 green white checker attempts should we need it. And of course, fuel window should be roughly in the 2-stop range. However, with this track being the 1.5 miles, it is definitely one of the shorter fuel tanks. We really kind of limit these trucks down how much fuel they have. That way we kind of basically make them hit pit road at least twice in the race. That's usually the end goal. So we'll see if that comes into play. And also for pit road here, we do not have that NASCAR rule. They do not have to come off the track on the back stretch and run the apron. They can enter exiting turn 4. However, we do require that they call out their pit stops heading onto pit road. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that one as well. So yeah, so looking forward to tonight's event. And I heard our boys Matt Wagner and Boomer Logan were doing some pre-race interviews here. So I'm going to kind of spy on some drivers and see if who's all put some laps down here tonight. As I'm scrolling through our list, I see one on track. I think this is going to be my victim once he finishes his lap, because his lovely wife just chimed in. So what better way to embarrass him than to pull him in for an interview? And you see right there on the qualifying lap, all the way down on the apron, that is legal in qualifying. In the race, not so much. So we'll see if that comes into play here tonight. And so we're going to do some dragging here for just a second. So it takes me a few moments to grab him over here. And now we'll drag him on over. And that is because just watching Ryan Decker finish his qualifying lap, I was told Boomer and Matt were pulling up drivers pre-race. So you're my victim tonight because your lovely wife popped in on YouTube cheering you on here tonight. So how are you doing, sir? I am doing well. So you were the perfect example there, showing that you can run that bottom apron underneath the white and red line there during qualifying, but it's a no-no during the race, obviously. So you're able to kind of give me something else to explain here tonight. So what's the plan? I know you got some teammates you can work with tonight, but what's it going to take after 90-ish laps to try to be in position, try to get a win here tonight?
On and off pit road, but man, you gotta be there at the end, and hopefully you get the right push. So
I'm rookie streaming here because I didn't have you completely unmuted the whole time, so apologies there. However, all right, so you need some friends, right place, right time, and some help behind you. Do you have a lane you want to be in? Do you like the white and red line? Do you like the outside line for momentum? I know everybody's kind of got their picks. I mean, is there one that stands out for you?
not really. I don't care as long as I got somebody good behind me that's pushing. If they can push the crap out of you and you hold a nice pretty wheel, I don't care whether it's top, bottom, or middle. Doesn't matter. Just hopefully they push you to the win.
All right, man. Well, good luck tonight. Hopefully we'll get the top 3 interview with you.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this Cincy Toyota in Victor Lane.
Look at that, pulling up the sponsor plug as well, like a pro. That is Ryan Decker in the number 48 machine. But now we're going to pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And on pole position, well, maybe on pole position, I think my stuff might be frozen here. That would be unideal. Give me one moment, maybe some technical difficulties. Because as you can see, nothing's moving. All right, we're going to try to see what's going on here. So it's not going to look super professional for just a split second. I apologize for that. But the goal is to at least get you a good broadcast here tonight. So all right. Yeah, I'm having some troubles here. I apologize for that. I'm gonna have to try to get this resolved very quickly. And please feel free to chime in on the chat as well if you're still working as well, because yeah, something's going on here. I'm gonna and please feel free to chime in on the chat as well if you're still working as well, because yeah, something's going on here. I'm gonna and please feel free to chime in on the chat as well if I believe we are up and running. I apologize again. Try to get things under control. So it looks like we are already at lap number 3. Drivers 2 the inside, Vicente Guerrero to his outside. And it looks like we have on track at the moment. Jude Conrad was trying to get home in time, may have not made it quite in time. Once again, please chime in. Let me know if audio and everything is coming through correctly. I'll make sure you can see and hear everything that should be happening. I appreciate that, Mr. Walls. So yeah, so right now it's 2x2 here. You've got some Limitless teammates on the outside, the 14 Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagle inside there in the number 06 machine. And then on the inside line come the boot lockers, Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie. And you got Peter DeBorgia, Bud Steele there in row number 3. So right now these drivers just kind of, again, let's say no point going through all the qualifying and grid and all that kind of stuff because, all right, yeah, I thought the mic was low as well, so let me keep adjusting that. All right, there we go. This looks way better now. Hopefully that is better, Jack. Again, I really appreciate everything you're helping me with right here as we're trying to do a lot of this stuff on the fly. It should be a lot higher now. If it's too high, let me know. We'll keep adjusting as we go. But yeah, so right now we are on
sorry about that.
6 of 90. I got driver audio on. I'm going to have to fix that as well. So yeah, as you can see, we are struggling here so far this evening. I don't think it's a full moon, and but yeah. So right now, though, like I said, keeping up on the front row, these guys all running together. I'm gonna move a little further backward and try to take a peek where things maybe calm down a little bit. And the answer is no. We're pretty much 2 by 2 from the front to the back here. As right now, like I said, these guys still continuing to run as they go. But yeah, again, hope you're enjoying your Sunday evening. Apologies for all the kind of the craziness to kick things off. But yeah, so right now they're still in their first fuel run here. But again, these laps will cook off very quickly here at Atlanta, that 1.5 mile oval, especially with this new configuration. 30-second lap times compared to usually I think it's 45 plus. Oh, just saw one of the Gruber brothers up into the outside wall. I believe that may have been Patrick in the 54. Yeah, it was there in that Monster Energy looking to the outside. Didn't quite have the room. He had to squeeze down. And this is probably one of the more difficult tracks to run 3 wide at versus Daytona Talladega. Oh, big slide there for Eric Laurie again. Also trying to keep it off the apron there. He's trying to drift up a little bit. And I think that's what we just saw there from him as he's going to hang on to that truck, though. Stay with his teammate Gabe Butler in the 88. Say right now, the safest truck in the field is way back here. Nick Wing rolling in 29th position. I love where Nick is because it is 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back from the front to the back. So I like it. I really like the paint scheme too. I really like that Ray Bestless truck there for Nick. But yeah, he feels like he is in the safest spot there. And definitely shout out to Import Logic, looking for your highlighter bros, and they are just cruising right now. You see the 21 Jacob Lee, you see the 43 of Hondo Longmire right now, chilling right around the top 20 or so here. But again, I think they've got some plans, and they're just kind of, I think, riding. Because I think fuel mileage tonight is going to be important, even if it doesn't change your fuel stops. With it, again, scheduled tentatively being a two-stop fuel pit stop under green flag conditions. If you can go an extra lap or two, there's a very good chance of a caution during the pit stop cycle. And this is a track you will go a lap down during the green flag pit stop cycle. So this is definitely a good opportunity for that. So appreciate you guys hopping on and watching and kind of bearing with me through some of the technical difficulties. Again, not 100% sure what happened, unfortunately, but one of those things. We'll make the most of it and just try to keep moving on. Keep trucking, if you will. Pun intended. Also, I got to give a big shout out because I have not seen this man in a long time. That is that number 87 truck of Raymond Rittenauer, a longtime Area 51 member. He still does a lot of super speedo racing, but haven't seen him in a while. But definitely excited to see him on the track here tonight. Really nice guy, and definitely enjoy. Say pretty much the field is better with him in the field because he is a very good super speedo racer, and of course one of our part-timers that we always have to keep an eye on is that number 40 of Peter DeBorgia. And if you see a paint scheme that you like on track, it's very likely that Peter was involved in the paint schemes because he does some great work with his paint schemes for himself, for his teammates, and all he ever asks is a donation to the Extra Life Foundation. And I just, again, it's a really great charity, and I love everything Peter does for that charity. You can see it right there, a great looking team paint scheme he's got. And you'll notice right there the similarities. Look at the truck for Peter DeBorgia in the 40. Look at Eric Laurie's in the 071 Gabe Butler. You can see they've got the teammate themes on those trucks there, just kind of different colors to match the sponsors with Extra Life, with John Deere, with Guinness. He does a really, really wonderful job with that, with the team and everything. So really appreciate them. As you saw, once again, I saw that 54, once again, Patrick was peeking to that third lane, but not quite able to do anything with it yet. And like I said, if you want to chime in, see where your favorite drivers are at, I saw Jason Bogart request. There he is in that number 10 Busch Light Flex Seal Raising Cane's truck, as he's got a lot of sponsorship on the side of that thing. Right now, Jason is running inside the top 10 in the 7th position. So again, still very, very early on here at Atlanta, 15 of 90. But like I said, I mean, I feel like I just started talking and it was about lap 3. That's how quick these laps will tick off. And again, you're going to see every so often, you'll see these trucks kind of dip just below the yellow and white line there through travel. That's okay. That's not an issue for the admins. The bigger concern they will have is if the truck goes all the way below the white line, maybe passing below the white line or protecting, things of that nature. That's more of what the admins are worried about it. When you see the trucks do that, like we saw just a moment ago, that's the other teams just trying to make sure that they give room to that second lane, because this travel right there, it's very quick, it's very abrupt, and especially in super speedway racing with iRacing, it's just there's always a potential chance of something, a little bit of net code or things like that. So everybody's just giving themselves just that little bit extra room. So that's why you're seeing that happening there. Also got a shout out to one of my Bathurst 12-hour race buddies over the weekend. That is that number 64 of Austin Call in the Dude Wipes Toyota. So I just by chance wound up in the same split as him. So it was fun getting to do some racing up and down the mountain with Austin. And I want to say their team got a top 10. So big shout out to Austin and all of his teammates in that race there. It was a lot of fun. It was a very, very challenging track, but a really fun race. And yeah, it was fun to be able to share just by chance with one of my buddies here with Area 51. But right now, everybody looks to be pretty well behaved. Oh, big hit for a truck on the outside. I think that was Ambrose Nabel. Yeah, he hit that trial a ton. But it looks like able to keep pointing in the right direction. Hopefully that truck's okay. Potential for some wheel damage for that kind of a hit. So we could potentially see him jump into pit road here. We'll have to keep an eye on the 04. But he's held on to the draft, and that is crucial for that. So hopefully Ambrose is okay. But yeah, that was a pretty big shot for the 04 we saw happen through the tri-oval. And again, if you're on the outside lane, that outside wall comes at you in a big hurry. But what I'm looking at right now is I think the tires and everything are starting to wear a little bit. I see trucks starting to get a little more squirrely, and that's going to be dangerous because there's not a lot of room to go in this race. There's not a lot of places to go because, again, I mean, it looks like right now we're running 200-mile-an-hour pace laps. These guys are just completely bunched up on each other here. Ooh, big wiggle for Peter DeBorge there, hanging on to it. But, man, yeah, these guys are starting to get a little tight here. And I'm wondering if they're looking at the pit stop windows. It may be looming. These guys may be starting to get a little antsy, wanting to get to the bottom to be able to make sure that they have an entry on the pit road and don't have to get pinned to the outside. So we'll see if that is part of the reasoning. We got teammates right now leading the front of the field here, the 14 and the 6 on the front row. And then you got more teammates in the second row with the 88 and the 40. But yeah, right now everybody's still staying locked up. There goes Cody. He's able to clear Vicente. He drops to the inside. That's going to allow Peter DeBorge to lead that second lane now in his Extra Life Chevy. So we'll see what the strategy is. But I think we're going to see two things here shortly. Lots of trucks are going to start to... Oh, you got Honda Longmire around in the backstretch. Caution is out. That is going to be our first spin of the first caution. Oh, Rick Sanchez involved as well. That is going to bring out caution number 1, but both trucks should, able to grab a gear and keep driving away. So unfortunate, though, for Hondo and for Rick. Rick, really good at Atlanta. I believe actually won the Thursday race in the Xfinity Series, so definitely congrats to him on that one. And honestly, those trucks do look repairable, so I think they'll be all right. We're going to try to see if we can find what happened to the two of them here. So we're going to focus on that. First, we're going to focus on Hondo Longmire in the 43 because you can see Rick right behind him here. So this is a good angle here. We'll get a great look at it here. And that's the 43 of Hondo Longmire. Looking at Rick Sanchez right behind him. You see a stack up behind, and you see Austin Call. He has to react. He jumps up in front of Hondo. Does Hondo get loose, or does he get a little bit of contact? Oh, look at the big checkup. Yeah, he checks up for the 64, but then there's just not enough room. There are 3, then almost 4 wide. That sends him across the nose of the 32. That catches the 5. And at that point, there's just nothing either of them can do there, unfortunately. And so both make some decent contact with the inside wall. But honestly, I feel like both trucks should be repairable here. So we'll jump back live because pit stops are underway. Let's get back live here as Gabe Butler is hitting pit road. Looks like he was our pole sitter for tonight, for those that were wondering, before everything went wrong. So while they do their pit stops, I'm going to step away for a quick moment, and we'll put on a great one of our great sponsors with 40 Racer. So stay tuned. We'll be back momentarily.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, lights off of the pace car. A little bit of mixed strategy potential here. I'm seeing a lot of 4-tire stops, but I also think I'm seeing a few 2-tire stops. Not a lot of drivers topping off, I don't believe, from what I can see here. Also looking at pit stop time, looks like Seth Gruber's in the pits for 57 seconds, 49 for Hondo, 59 for Rick. So that's damage repair to those 3 trucks, I would presume. Nick Wing actually on pit road now. I'm a little nervous if he's going to be able to catch back up to the field in time. He's rolling now, so I'll keep an eye on him. But right now, field all doubled up here to try to get ready for this restart here, as we will restart this race on lap number 26 of 90. And right now, like I said, Vicente Guerrero leading the way. Now he's got his teammate Cody Nagels right behind him. That's a great setup for them here to try to control the restart. So we're going to see that pace truck make the sharp left, and he is going to head to the apron. That's going to hand it over to Vicente, who has control of this restart as he enters the Geico restart zone and waiting for that green flag to fly. He is down and away. So Vicente's going to lead the field here to lap number 26. Looks like a pretty good start for the field. Everybody's able to kind of get themselves up and running. Can tell you Nick Wing did catch back up to the field for this restart, so that's great news for him. Still in the draft. But yeah, a little bit of a bobble for that 93 truck. I'm not sure. I believe he may have been one of those that took 2 tires. And so, yeah, some trucks pretty quickly trying to find their way around him. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the run goes on. Like I said, I did see a few trucks I believe took 2, one of which is the 54 of Patrick Gruber. The other I just mentioned was the number 93 truck. And I think also Kevin Freeze in the 25. So a few right side tires. And the tires do matter here, though, with the trucks. These things will get loose over the course of the field run. So those will be trucks I'll be definitely trying to keep an eye on, see how they perform. It's a risk versus reward for sure. You gain some track position during your pit stops. But if your handling is too loose, it might give you a really tough time as well. So we'll see how it goes. It looks like everybody's kind of settled back in pretty nicely here. But I got to give a shout out right now to our top 5 here. That's Carl Lingle in that number 30 truck. So it's got a really fun paint scheme. It's like just really stands out there. So it might be that blind squirrel racing. So you got to get all the colors that the squirrel can get to be able to see it as best he can. But right now, Carl having a great run so far early on in that number 30 truck. I'll say that group of guys, they're a lot of fun to I've been able to chat with them kind of pre-race and stuff. And they just seem like a fun little kind of group of guys to hang out with. So, but what I do notice, though, is those two trucks that are on the inside line, the 14 and the 6, they're now leading the outside line, while you've got on the inside line, you've got the 88, the 40, and the 30 down there. So almost kind of surprised, honestly, to see Limitless switch to the outside lane there. I thought the inside would be the place to be, but it looks like right now they kind of like that second lane as they currently run. So with the timing of that pit stop, I do not believe anybody can make it one stop to the end. I think it should still be a two-stop window from here to the end. And we do have a little bit of a separation here. Looks like the number 5 truck, I think maybe still has a little bit of lingering damage. I think that he did nose into the wall, so maybe some lingering stuff there. But it looks like he's trying to get some help from Nick Wing. Nick looks like he's kind of dedicated to work with him, which is always nice to see. These guys trying to work together as best they can, kind of minimize the damage for all parties, if you will. But yeah, so right now, actually, I think I'm seeing a little bit of movement position-wise. I was trying to peek around and see if I saw anything that stood out. I thought I saw Raymond Rittenauer drop a few spots because he was towards the front earlier. He's down back in 16th, so a little surprised to see the 87. Maybe something happened that made him fall back a little bit. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. But we do have two-tire cars lined up right together, and that is actually 3, I should say, all lined up together. The 54 Patrick Gruber, the 93 Travis McQuistion, and the 25 Kevin Fries. All 3 of those trucks took 2 tires. They're all lined up together on that outside line. So somehow they wound up all finding each other just kind of by chance. So these guys will, again, those are the 3 that I'm really curious to see how their trucks perform, how they handle. And again, I really do still have a little bit of nervousness about, especially if we get that long green flag run, because I think that's where it could get a little sketchy here. So I'll be curious to see about that one. So, and again, the other thing too, though, is if we get to a green flag pit stop, then what do you do if you're one of those guys? Do you take 2 tires again, or do you take 4 tires under green and potentially lose some more track position when they're racing at speed? Because again, a lot of times you're going to be waiting on tires if you take 4 versus fuel, which is why a lot of times you'll see these trucks take the 2 tires instead of the 4 tires during a green flag pit stop. But again, though, it will slow your pit stop down, but it could make it worth the difference on the handling of the truck later in the run. So there's always a lot of options, a lot of potentials. So we'll keep an eye on that. And earlier we talked about the 54 running that 3rd lane. Brother said, you know what, I'm going to do the same. They were trying to find Patrick here, or sorry, Seth, I should say here. There he is in the number 32 McDonald's truck. He's peeking 3rd lane, but not a lot of options there. He's actually going to kind of try to get back in line there. It looked a little scary there for just a split second. He's kind of trying to figure out where he wants to position that car right now, but or truck, I should say. But right now, not a lot of room around Corey Buskirk there in that 998 in front of him. And then you see Hondo Longmire after that contact. He is right back in the back of this pack here as well. So he's able to hold on to the draft. And you can see right there that you can see that bright green, but you can see the scuff marks on the 43 on the side of it. That's your telltale sign that he has not used his fast repair, because otherwise that truck would likely look pretty much pristine again. So that's great news for Hondo that he's able to hold the draft while still able to save that fast repair just in case. Because again, that's one of those ones you want to keep that in your back pocket to the end of the race if you absolutely need it, because you never want to have to use it early. Close there between. I think he was hoping to see if he could sneak in front of the 37, but Nathan Warner was there and there was nowhere for Hondo to go. So he had a quick little reaction, went right back up to the 2nd lane. It's probably definitely one of those moments that kind of catch your attention and kind of perk you up a little bit there. So also double checking. Oh yeah, we do have an early retirement though. Looks like Bob Fitzgerald unfortunately has retired in the 08 truck. I do not believe Dude Conrad has been able to make it into the race, which is unfortunate as Kevin Fries is going 3rd lane here. He's got to the outside of Travis McQuistion. This is where things get a little scary and a little dicey, and we'll see how it goes. But right now he's got some help in front and from help behind, but it gets very tight quartered here. And these are all the trucks that took the 2 tires, which just makes me all the more nervous here. But right now they're able to make it work here, as it looks like Kevin Freeze is going to try to push Patrick Groover. But man, these guys are getting a little wiggly, and I think these trucks are just, again, I think those 2 tires might just be not letting them be as comfortable as they want to be. And I actually just saw Seth Groover drop a fair bit back on the inside line. So I'll double check to see if the 32 truck hopefully okay. But yeah, he's definitely ticking the wrong way, but I don't want to step away from this right now because this is definitely where the main action is. But right now we do have the pack split up in 2 here now, from the lead pack to, looks like about, oh, there's the 54 in the wall, caught the wall on entry. The 25 able to react in time, a little bit of a stack up behind. Everybody's trying to dice around to make sure they're able to get around it. If something happens, everybody gets merged back on safely. But yeah, that the 3 wide is very, very difficult here at Atlanta, and that's what we just saw. But you see Honda Longmire, he's able to hold on to the pack there. Looks like Jim Brooks also kind of just on the tail end catching back up. But this is what I was talking about, though. You can see, though, these are the other guys that fell off that pack. Seth Groover, Mike Rimkus, Frank Ranger Jr., Nick Wing, Richard Sanchez, apologies, and Ambrose Nabel. So we kind of have a separation of 2 packs here, with something that happened just a little bit ago. So not sure what it was, but hopefully they're able to kind of keep things going and get back after it. But man, right now you can see how let's watch from the back of Gabe Butler's truck here, watching out the back from Gabe to Peter DeBorgia, just to watch how close these guys get through the turns, then into the straightaways, because that's what you have to do here at Atlanta. You can't just stay locked on. You got to get lined up, give the pushes down the straightaways, and then try to roll out of it just a little bit through the turns. And it's also, again, it's kind of a blind entry, and I already see a 3rd lane starting to try to form again. And say if it doesn't work the first time, let's try it again. And that's what it looks like what the 54 and 25 are trying to make happen. They fall back into that 2nd lane here together. And again, yeah, I'm a little nervous about going to that 3rd lane, especially at this point in the race. Actually, I say at this point in the race, but actually looking at the timing and scoring, we're actually just about to hit the halfway mark here. Already about to start lap 43 of 90. So lap 45, that halfway mark. Oh, a little drift there for the 30 truck. I think the handling's starting to go away on these guys. Again, they pitted about 20 laps ago at this point. So I think, especially like I said, those 2 tires might be getting a little looser than the 4-tire trucks are. But then you have to think too, the truck's pinned on the inside line, probably also a little extra wheel cranked in it the whole time, probably also getting a little bit less handling involved in them as well. So we'll keep an eye. It looks like Honda Longmire I think he may have drifted back a little bit to pick up Jim Brooks. So some nice sportsmanship out of the 43 truck. Maybe trying to get a little bit of brownie points for one of the league admins, league owners there, from that 43 truck. Well, maybe we get a chance to tease them at some point, either during the race or post-race, and kind of teasing a bit about that. But knowing Hondo, he's just being a good dude, because I got to know him for a few seasons, and I honestly know a lot of the guys. Oh, as I say, that big move, Jason Bogart, he's going to jump 3. He's going to get help for the moment from the 54. Jason catches the outside wall, try to get checked up. 54 is going to drop back to the inside there, and that's how difficult that 3rd lane is. It's just so easy to wash up to that outside line. I think you'll see Jason probably roll out. Yeah, he's going to roll out. He's going to fall in right behind the 54. Only really lost a spot or 2 out of it. I don't think he's got much damage to that right side, if any. Maybe a little scuff to the right front. But this is a very, very difficult track to hit that 3rd lane at. Like I said, I think it's just going to be, there'll be times where it's more and more tempting, but it's just going to be more and more dangerous. But I think it's going to have to be one of those situations where the tires are about at their best. But as we just cross the halfway point, Gabe Butler continues to lead here. So again, now the question mark is going to be fuel mileage. Like I said, I believe it should be somewhere in, I would suspect, just under 30 laps or so on the fuel window here. They pitted at lap 23. We're at 46 now, so it's about 23 laps. So I would say probably in the next 5, most 10 laps, possibly seeing some of these trucks hit pit road, if that is indeed the fuel number. Like I said, should be a 2-stop race if all is set up correctly. But it might actually be a little more than that now that I'm thinking about it. So we'll wait and see. We'll be able to get a good calculation once everybody pits here. But right now, like I said, pitted at 23 under yellow. Like I said, we're already clicking off here now. 44 to go here, lap 47. So yeah, already done a little over 25 laps. So Yeah, plenty of racing to go. And like I said, strategy is going to be, I think, the name of the game as well, where do you kind of short pit to try to make sure you can stay up front? Do you go ahead and maybe try to take the tires and hope that that comes into play where you have the fresher tires now and maybe do a splash of fuel towards the end? There's a lot of options here to be made. And I'm seeing a lot of trucks starting to try to find their way to the bottom. I think some guys are getting ready to make pit stops, so be ready because this is where things could start kicking off here. But it looks like so far everybody stays out. I say, unfortunately, I won't be able to spy on the drivers and find out who's pitting when. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye. And since we can't really listen into the field, as close there between the 41 and the 10 there on entry. That is Jeremy Osborne we're focusing on right there in that yellow and green 41 machine. He's got the 93 to his inside there, 64 behind. But right now, like I said, things still holding pretty station at the front. Low, here we go. Pit stops underway. This is where everything gets a little scary. But it looks like leader's able to make it onto pro. Now they got to get checked up. A little bit of contact, 54.06. I think they get away with it. You see the 21 also in the 321 and the 43. That's going to hand the lead over to Carl Lingle. He's got Kevin Fries behind him. Ryan Decker, we chatted with him pre-race right behind as well. Then Jason Bogart, Jeremy Osborne. So expect to see pretty quick reactions here. I think the 30's likely. I think Kevin Fries is definitely coming in. Here comes the 30. But good fuel mileage here for some of these other guys. A couple slides down the back. Oh, the 04 too hot on entry. He's going to be in the grass. It's going to be an unsafe entry for him. So the field's going to have to try to sort through. And this is now where you still have to make your pit stalls. Make sure you don't run over each other here. It's a very scary pit road as well. You can see how small the pit boxes are. But right now the fuel mileage winners at the moment are these trucks here. Raymond Rittenauer, Ryan Decker, and Bud Steele. And I think we're going to see these guys in this time as, here they go. Bud almost getting into the back of the 48, but here they come. They're going to hit their pit stalls. And so great entry for the three of them. That leaves Nathan Warner, and he's going to hit pit road right now. And that will complete our green flag pit cycle. And I'm looking at timing and scoring. There are some strategies here. I see some possible fuel only, some 2 tires, some 4 tires. So right now we'll cycle back through. And right now, you see Carl Lingle. He's the first truck leaving pit road here. Right now, he is being shown as our race leader as things run. But he's got some help coming behind him with a big head of steam. That's Patrick Gruber and Jacob Lee. Also very, very quick pit stops for the two of them. This trio here could try to line up here and maybe work together, get some speed built up here with them. But it looks like they've actually been able to kind of pull away from that 30. That's going to then drop Carl here back to this next pack with Austin Call. He's got Travis McQuistion right behind him. And then you get to the 4-tire drivers. Oh, big contact in the back. Trucks around. Caution is out. You see Eric Laurie involved. I saw the 10, Jason Bogart, unfortunately, a piece of that as well. And I think the 321, Brian Grimm also involved. You can see his front bumper there, unfortunately, down on the backstretch. That truck missing its front clip. So everybody got through the pit stop cycle, but unfortunately, a caution as everybody was kind of getting themselves built back up, and probably a bit of one of those situations where everybody's at different speeds, closing rates, and things of that nature. That might be what caught these guys out. So we'll try to find exactly what happened. So we're going to go on back here and take a look. It was right around Eric Laurie, Brian Grimm and company. And you can already see that they're already pretty tight quarters here. We're focusing on Eric Laurie for the moment. You see the 10 gets a little drift up, but then looks like the 321 gets loose on exit there. And I think maybe had to do with the reaction. And they wreck at full speed and right next to the 48 and the 6. Look at Bud Steele and then the 48 of Ryan Decker. Honda Longmire just not having a good night so far tonight. He gets a piece of it in the 43 truck as well. Watching Raymond Rittenauer here in the 87. Just a little tap to the 071 there. Bigger hit to the inside wall, unfortunately for Raymond. So multiple trucks involved in this one. As you can see, there goes the front bumper kind of bouncing down the backstretch. So that's going to put us under caution for the second time tonight. We'll jump back live here and take a look at the drivers. And it looks like we had a mixed bag here. Carl Lingle stays out here. Again, he had a very quick pit stop, 8.43 seconds on pit road. However, I'm looking from second of Gabe Butler all the way back to the 79 here, an 11th of Mike Rimkus. All of these drivers here took 4 tires based on their pit stop time, 14, 15 seconds. So from 2nd to 11th, all those drivers took 4 under that caution, or sorry, under that green flag pit stop. I apologize, which was at lap 49 to 51 window. Carl Lingo, like I mentioned, an 8-second stop. That's possibly 2 tires. It might even be fuel only for the number 30. And then all these drivers right here that just hit pit road here, either to top off or maybe take tires and fuel as well, including Vicente Guerrero, Austin Call, Travis McQuistion, Bud Steele, and Ryan Decker as some of those guys. And truth be told, a little surprised to see Ryan Decker, Bud Steele there hit pit road, unless they maybe did fuel only on their pit stop or something like that, because they were the last drivers there to be rolling out of pit road. Thought that might be an opportunity for them to gain a bunch of track position in that 6 and the 48. So we'll have to see. Still a lot of racing to go. 36 to go, 35 at the line. It's going to be Carl Lingle leading the way here on this restart. And yeah, I'm curious now about the fuel. I'm not going to lie, because we're going to restart with 35 to go. I'm double checking to see, did anybody top off? You see Hondo Longmire. That truck's, he's going to still limp with this damage. He decided, you know what, I don't want to use that fast repair still. But I'm also looking at Eric Laurie just rolling out of pit road, Patrick Groover, Nick Wing still on pit road as well. So going to be keeping an eye on a few of these guys to see, do any of them think we can go 35 laps on a tank of fuel? It could be close if they go full save here from this point on the restart to the finish. Again, it has to go green, of course, for the stall workout. But there is a very good possibility somebody's going to be able to pull off some fuel mileage. Also, Raymond Rittenauer, he decided he wanted that track position more than damage repair. So the 87's got a little bit of left front and a little bit of left side damage. We'll keep an eye on that number 87. Haven't had a chance to shout out Todd Merkel and that number 22 Merkel Racing Engines machine. Always love having Todd over here with us at Area 51. Really, really nice guy. As we hit the restart zone, we are back underway. Looks like everybody able to get through the gears so far cleanly. Was curious about tires, spin, or anything like that. But looks like everybody's in good shape here. But my only concern right now, that's a really big advantage for Carl Lingle. He's going to have a big momentum shift for those trucks behind him. But there's nowhere for Peter DeBorge to go. He's got to push the 30, so he's going to lock onto the back of the 30, try to push him as far as he can. But right now, Gabe Butler, Kevin Freeze, they push a little bit ahead, but can't quite clear. Carl's going to hang on to that top spot on that inside line. Again, trying to get help from Peter. Peter's peeking to the inside line there, trying to see if he can maybe find a way to sneak around the 30. And like I said, I think he's probably a little bit antsy, worried about the tires of that 30 truck, thinking, I got to find a way to get my fresh tires in front of him. So we'll see if he finds an opening. Maybe he jumps to the outside if one shows up for him. But right now, I don't think you're going to see a lot of trucks giving too much room for him to sneak out of the way, because they want to be in their best position, try to win this race as well. Because like I said, it feels like we just started, but we're down to 34 to go. And like I said, these laps click off every 30 seconds. So, yeah, we go pretty quick under green here. So we'll keep an eye and see how things are looking. So far, so good. Like I said, you see the top 4 here, top 5, kind of all just right on lockstep with each other. You see Todd Merkel, he's jumped to the inside line now in that number 22 truck. Jim Brooks right behind him as well in the 51, with Raymond Rittenauer now following suit down to the bottom. And now the outside line starting to kind of reform with a different group of drivers. That's going to be Jeremy Osborne in the 41 here leading the outside line. As I say that, Vicente, he drops inside. So a little bit of indecision of which lane to be in. It seems like some drivers are a little bit indecisive. Do they want to be high? Do they want to be low? Gabe Butler's obviously still committed to the top. I've seen now Cody Nagels actually jump from the bottom now back to the top here. So right now, like I said, kind of some mixed decisions on where to be, but pretty much these 4 trucks, I should say, the 30, the 40, the 88, and the 25. Oh, Travis McQuistion, a little bit of contact to the outside wall, hangs onto that truck somehow in the 93. But again, he saw that child, but it bites another truck there. We saw it happen a little earlier with the 04, and now let's say it caught the 93 just a little bit. But yeah, definitely gets a little sketchy at times. As you can see now, the 64 Austin Call tried to peek to the outside. Now Travis trying to peek to the outside. These guys starting to get a little antsy trying to make this third lane happen. But again, we're just now getting 30 to go. I feel like we're getting a little too ambitious here. But again, these guys probably have their clock. Oh, contact in the mid-pack there. Oh, trucks around Jim Brooks involved. I think I can't tell who he had contact with, but multiple trucks involved in this one. As it looks like I see a handful of trucks here getting caught up and some going through. And yeah, I think Ambrose Nabel may have just been wrong place, wrong time. You see the 37 truck. He is also in it. And I think the 51 is probably too damaged. Going to have to take a tow. Yep, there he goes. So caution back out right at the 30 to go mark. Now 29 to go at the line. Let's go back because I saw it just out kind of the corner of my eye. Tried to catch it as quick as I could, but there was a lot happening in a very short amount of time there. So we're going to focus on the 51 of Jim Brooks here as they were entering turn number 1. You see to his rear quarter, I believe, is Seth Groover in the 32. And you see Jim, he kind of drifts up a little bit for a moment and then comes... everything looks okay there for the second. Oh, you see the 54 Patrick Groover gets a little loose there in the monster truck. That drops Jim down to the apron. And that slide motion, though, just moves, unfortunately, the 54 right into the path of the 51, which also catches the 64. And then, yeah, look behind and say, and then it's just, everybody's just trying to find a way through here. I might have to focus on Jacob Lee here, and I am going to do exactly that because we're going to hop on the roof of this number 50, or sorry, the 21 of Jacob Lee. Watch this. We will actually, let's go at speed here. Watch Jacob Lee here get through this, I think. That is some fine evading there for one of our highlighter bros this evening. I'm pretty sure the Import Logic fans will be cheering that one on tonight. So great job by that 21 to get through that one. So that brings the caution back out. Looks like once again everybody here go ahead and hit pit road under that caution period as we were everybody pitting on lap number 62, which I think at this point now, fuel out of the question. These guys can make it to the end. But once again, strategy, top 3 trucks, fuel only, maybe 2 tires for Peter DeBorgia, but Carl Engel, 6.3 second pit stop, Peter DeBorgia, 9.67, Seth Groover, 5.95. I'm saying those 3 are definitely either 2 or fuel. I'm going to say fuel only for the 32 and the 30, 2 tires for Peter DeBorgia in the 40, 4 tires from Gabe Butler. Pretty much Gabe Butler on back here. I'm going to say it's probably is the strategy for those guys. Although I'm showing a really quick pit stop here. Well, actually, I say fuel's not an issue. We got drivers topping off, but I think this is a survival strategy here. I think they say, you know what? We've got another really big wreck coming. We don't want to be in it. And I think that's why you're seeing the 40, the 88. I think that's why we're seeing these drivers on pit road. I have to say. And I was also looking at Peter. You see he's taking left sides. I think he took the right side. I am second guessing myself. I'm throwing those lefts on as well. I want my truck to handle here at the end. So I think that might be what we're seeing. So pretty interesting seeing kind of some strategy adjustment there on the fly at the very end. And also maybe it's saying, you know what, let's put that little extra splash in for a potential green-white checkered. So we'll have to wait and see. I still do see 4 trucks on pit road. Actually, they're leaving now. Bud Steele, Raymond Rittenauer, Eric Lorry, Nick Wing still on pit road. I think Jim Brooks still, unfortunately, having to take a tow in that 51. So I think at the moment we should be sitting at 24 trucks on the lead lap. Yep, 24 with Nick Wing. The 37, Nathan Warner's 1 down. Ambrose Nabel is 2 down. And I believe Jim Brooks is 2, if not 3, and counting as he's still stuck on pit road, unfortunately. So up front, though, kind of a new looking field here. Yeah, Raymond making, his semi that's a big word there, Brian. Come on. Decennial? I don't know, man. You're going to have to make that an easier one for me next time. But yeah, I love seeing Raymond here, though. I'll say now you're next, though, Brian. We got to get you back up here, but appreciate you popping in here. But we're going to restart this thing. 26 to go. Carl Engel leads the field back to the green. He's got to his outside Seth Groover, but behind him he's got a couple teammates lined up, Cody Nichols and Vicente Guerrero with Limitless Racing. Watch for those two. But look at that, though. Great start there for the 22. Todd Merkel saw a gap between the two of those teammates, dropped right to the inside. That's leaving poor Seth Gruber out by his lonesome for the moment. Nobody going yet. Now Vicente's going to go up to the outside, push him forward, because he wants to find a way to get to his teammate in the 06. And, oh, Jacob Lee on pit road, possible pit road penalty if I'm not mistaken. That's usually why you'll see these pit entries like that. It looks like Bud Steele as well. That's a heartbreaker, because, like I said, Jacob had just the best wreck avoidance I've seen in a long time out of that 21 truck. And now it looks like he's having to do possibly either a drive-through or a potential stop and hold out of the 21. And usually those are due to passing on pit road entry or things like that. So one thing Area 51 does is they kind of treat the rules like an official iRacing race. So pretty much let iRacing have the control the black flags and things like that, because just to avoid any risk of preferential treatment and things of that nature. But regardless, so that's a tough hit for the 6 and the 21 there. So but again, still plenty of racing to go here. 24 to go still. A lot can happen obviously between now and then. I see the 21 already starting to roll out of pit road, so he'll probably be up there. There goes the 6 as well. They're both starting to roll out together. They're probably going to get put a second lap down though, because they're just now starting to come out of pit road. And yeah, you can see there they go, and here comes the field. So I think this is going to trap the two of them 2 laps down. And like I mentioned as well, I think we have the 37 as the first truck, 1 down in the 37, and then Ambrose Nabel is 2 down as well. So right now, if you're the 37 truck, I stay all the way in the back here. Make sure if anything happens in front of you, you stay away from it. But up front though, these guys, they gotta fight. They gotta stay aggressive. They want to have that track position towards the end of this race here. And right now, you see, while we were checking all that, Cody Nagels, he's found his way to the front, got in front of that 30 of Carl Engel. And now Seth Gruber's got the 06's teammate, and that is Vicente Guerrero. But once again, that third lane, if there's been drivers who've been trying to make that third lane happen, it's been the Gruber brothers. And Patrick's got himself back up to that third lane. He's outside of the 41. 41, drifts up just a tiny bit, but he clears. He drops down in front of him. So able to gain a spot from that third lane. But now we'll see if he can do anything more with it. He's already peeking to the outside of Ryan Decker, trying to see if he can get around that Sensi Toyota Tundra. But not enough momentum yet. He's got to fall back in line for the moment. So we'll keep an eye on the 54 as we kind of keep an eye on all the racing going on here as well. With right now 22 trucks in this main pack on the lead lap. And as we cross the line here, we're going to be 20 to go here at Atlanta. Great view from the walls, just how quick things happen here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. As right now you see Cody still able to maintain that lead. He's got both lanes cleared, so he can kind of control the lines if he chooses to. But again, I think right now that bottom lane, to me, it seems like that's where you want to be, unless you've got maybe a really established group of trucks lined up on that second lane. But I really think that yellow, or in this case that white and red line, that's your safest place to be here at this track. And he is getting all he can handle from that number 30 truck of Carl Engel. So let's hop on board here for the moment with that 30. We'll take a look through the roll bar. And that's not Carl Engel. That's Carl Engel. And we'll see exactly roughly what he's seeing, I should say, as he's pretty much just going to see that rear spoiler. And you can see again right there, just a little bit of a bobble, drifts up just a tiny bit off the bottom compared to the 06. But again, he's having to try to go through blind, as again, he gets a little wiggle there, has to chase it. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum here. And that's just, again, because of that, you're just, all you can see is that truck in front of you. And that kind of shuffled everything around. That kind of put the 22 of Todd Merkel to the third lane. 54 just caught the wall. Oh, we're 3, possibly 4 wide for a second here. As you see right around the 54. So everybody's trying to get settled back in here, and that one little hiccup really pushed a few trucks out of their position, and kind of just honestly out of their comfort zone, if you will, too. And And through all of that, got one sliding down the infield in the apron there. Looks like hung on to it there. But that was also a little bit of a scary moment for one of our drivers. But through all of that, somehow Seth Gruber now at the point in that McDonald's 32 Toyota Tundra. And then now Ryan Decker leading the outside line in his Sensi Toyota Tundra here. As now they get lined up with each other on the outside line. I don't know if that's what they wanted to do here. Oh, we got a little bit of contact. Travis able to hang on to it. Trucks trying to find their way through. And, oh, man, I think everybody's going to stay pointing in the right direction, but it is getting super tight here. These guys know it's 15 to go. It's about go time. You saw for a second, I saw Vicente there for a split second down in the apron. I think that was just from a push he got. But we're squeezing. Oh, we got trouble. Big wreck here in 3 and 4. Caution is out. Trucks on their side. Trucks involved as well. And yeah, that was probably the one that a few of those trucks were trying to avoid. And you see Patrick Gruber involved. There's Todd Merkel involved as well, I think. Number of trucks caught up in this one. We'll have to go back and see what all happened. And Mom, you are not wrong on that one. That outside lane makes me nervous too. And unfortunately, it looks like this one definitely caught a handful of guys here. So once again, we'll back it up here. Try to get a good view towards the front here. Because, I mean, you see how tight these guys are all bunched together here entering turn 3. There's a lane and a half right here to the outside of the 22. Everybody's squeezing each other for just everything they've got here. So we'll try to, I think we'll probably want to focus on the 30 initially. And you can see, Ryan Decker just couldn't quite clear it. He gets up into there. You see there was Todd Merkel that kind of went for the wall ride. And it's maybe one of those ones where it's going to be easier to tell you who was not involved than was, unfortunately. Although, oh man, we might have a second save of the race potentially waiting to, to kind of peek over here. But I'm watching Gabe Butler, and I think he may have just tried to call his shot to that 21 truck and said, well, you thought you had a good wreck avoidance, watch mine. So let's do that here. Let's watch Gabe Butler's on board here as we are under caution. Again, I'm going to try to find when the time of the yellow came out, right around here. And we're going to focus on the 88 truck. We'll hop on the roof, and let's watch this at speed. You see the contact. You can see just, oh man, goes left, goes right, and just somehow it works out. It looks like Peter DeBorgia may have done some good wreck avoidance down on the apron as well. So great job by multiple drivers here tonight to avoid some of these wrecks. And so yeah, so we're getting down to it though. We'll probably, unfortunately Travis is involved, but probably gonna be restarting just outside of 10 to go. Looking at the timing and scoring, I believe we now have 2 more retirements officially, which are Jim Brooks and Brian Grimm. And of course, waiting to double check to see wave arounds, things of that nature. Try to see who is officially back on the lead lap. And I think I'm showing Ambrose, Jacob, and Bud still sitting at 2 down. But we're on, the lights are out on the pace car. I did see, I believe, I'm wondering if, I'm trying to check my timing and scoring. I'm trying to remember exactly which driver it was. I think it was Nathan Warner, if I'm not mistaken, was the driver I had mentioned that would be the beneficiary of the wave around if a caution came out, as he was 1 down. And I think that's exactly it, because I'm showing him now on the lead lap. So bring the 37 back onto the lead lap. Just got some service done to his truck, and he's going to get back out on track. For Ryan Decker, where's Ryan at here? Is he back out on track already? Yeah, there he is. So Ryan is in the 15th spot, so he's going to have to do a little bit of work. You see him on the inside line there. But again, though, we're going to restart this thing with 11 to go. Again, still a lot of racing to go here to the end. So pretty much the top 8 stay out. 9th on back did pit under this caution. And I believe the first truck on 4 tires will be either Vicente Guerrero or Travis McQuistion. So this is where that fast repair came into play. Some of these guys, now they got their trucks all bright and shiny once more. So we'll keep an eye on them with tires versus no tires, or track position, what's more important. Look at Rich Sanchez here back to the front, now having a chance at the win here once again as well. Green flag is out, 11 to go here at Atlanta. Again, there are potential 3 attempts of a green-white checkered. As everybody starts to build up speed, get back through the gears. Peter DeBorgia, quick lane change to the outside, wants to be able to push that number 5 truck. Gabe Butler committed to the 06 for the moment of Cody Nagels. That's going to open up the inside lane. Look at Jason Bogart now. He's going to push forward and the bottom on that number 10 truck. And then, it's not going to take long. That third lane is going to happen again here. Like I said, these guys, they probably saw what happened on TV and said, yeah, we can do that. So just give us a second and we'll make something happen. So we'll wait and see here. But again, 10 to go now here at the line. Cody still, no, Rick there, I believe, leads that lap in the number 5 truck. So 10 to go here. The 5 truck in that Chevrolet Silverado leads that lap with 10 to go. Extra life on the side of the 06 on the inside lane in his Silverado. Right now, pretty much a Chevy lockout on the front 2 rows here. But right now, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and who is going to kind of push that third lane. As I just saw right there, the 30 truck, he tried to get up there, I think. Caught the outside wall just a tiny bit. And that's going to shake things up a little bit. As I saw Hondo drop to the inside here, try to find a safe spot to go. But it is, it's on now. Everybody's going for everything they can get. Trying to peek around. I think okay, we're good still. I thought I saw the ticker kind of update really quickly. Looks like everybody's still hanging on here. Oh, but Nathan Warner back on pit. Oh, man. I think Nathan, again, the pit penalties sometimes are a little left to be desired, and unfortunately I think Nathan on the wrong end of the stick on that one, unfortunately, on the 37 truck. So did all that great work to get back on the lead lap, only to get kind of knocked back once more. But here comes the third lane though. It looks like Vicente is going to try to lead. It couldn't quite clear the 93. He's actually going to drop back to the inside line. It's going to happen. Like I said, someone's just going to wait for that momentum to build up, and then they'll jump to the top. But I really think honestly the first likely candidate, if it's not the 998 of Corey Buskirk, will likely be the 64 of Austin Call. And what'll probably happen is once one truck does it and shows some momentum, someone else is going to start. Oh, contact. Oh, the 93 got into the 64. Big contact for them. Caution is back out. Unfortunately, Austin Call involved there. Oh, Bud Steele as well after the fact. I think he may have got hit after the yellow came out. I'm not sure, but that's the motor popped on that guy. Austin Call already back, had to take a tow back to pit road. I think the 41 Jeremy Osborne as well involved. And it looked like a little bit of contact on entry there. And just, I think at that point, Austin was just honestly a bit of a passenger on that one, unfortunately. So we'll go back here once more. We'll take another quick look at this one here as we'll focus on that number 64. You can already see it's already happening. So let's go a little further back here. And let's take a better look from the back. And so you see the 64. He does drift up a little bit. That might be one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe an opening for Travis. But honestly, I think they just kind of wound up making contact. No intent there for a pass or anything like that. But unfortunately, you see the 64 up against the wall there. Kevin Freeze quick on the brakes in the 25 to try to see if he can avoid that one. And then the 6 of Bud Steele got caught up in it. And like I said, I think it was after the yellow. Trying to see what... Oh, contact here between he and the 17. Just trying to... Like I said, we're just trying to get settled back in, and everybody's trying to find their position. Just, unfortunately, a little bit of contact just threw the 6 down to the inside wall. And that's one of those... This is one of those races where you're just like, okay, not my night tonight. Pack it up and look forward to the next one. So tough one, unfortunately, for Bud there. I do believe wave around is going here to the 79 of Mike Rimkiss. Wait for to see where timing scoring updates for him as you see him working his way. Actually, no, I lie. It looks like he's working, just catching up on his own. I think it's actually, once again, Nathan Warner getting one of the laps that he had just lost once again back. So I think he and Mike Rimkiss, if I'm not mistaken, are the 2 trucks that are sitting 1 lap down at the moment. So like I said, we'll wait for timing scoring to fully update here. But close call there as everybody's trying to get checked up and caught up. That was a little bit of a moment there. So potentially I think the 25 and 54, I think, are just getting as much damage as they can fix, and you'll probably see them drop a gear and get rolling out of pit road before the pace truck gets to them. Just yeah, and you can see there's the damage to the side of the 54 machine. So that's a tough one there. Cody here, you can see here these guys come to get, I believe, the 1 to go here, and that's going to restart this race with 3 to go. So not quite green, white, checkered. It does look like 25 is already rolling. Unfortunately, the 54, it looks like he may still be, he's still stuck on pit road for Patrick. So unfortunately, not going to be a good night for Patrick. Seth still has a chance for a good result for himself in the 32 truck, so hopefully he can kind of carry the banner for the brothers. Mom, you might have to get some cookies or ice cream ready, though, for Patrick, unfortunately, after tonight. For Caitlin, Ryan is back up into the top 10, I believe, sitting in the 9th position in that number 48 truck. So good recovery for him after his involvement in that earlier incident, getting caught up on that one. So he still has a chance to try to do some recovery driving as well. But up front, though, we've got, once again, kind of a Chevy lockout on the front 2 rows here with Cody and Gabe front row, Richard and Peter in the 2nd row. And then you got Jason Bogart there rounding out our top 5 in that number 10. And then a couple of Toyotas with Corey Buskirk, Seth Groover, Raymond Rittenauer, Ryan Decker, and Vicente Guerrero are top 10. So, yeah, I mean, I say Rick's in a really good spot here. He's on the inside. He is behind the control car of Cody Nagels. Can he find a way to maybe push Cody clear and then make a move for himself? Or will he wind up maybe getting pinned to the inside and just try to get the best result he can out of that 5 truck? There's a lot to come still here. Like I said, this is going to restart 3 to go, still within green, white, checkered territory. Or haven't got to, I should say, green, white, checkered territory yet. So it's going to be the 06 leading the way here. And now he's down and away. Back to green here, 3 to go. And a good start, really. Good start, but actually not really a good start for the 06. Kind of got away from the 5. That's going to take a bit for him to get back to him. Whereas the 40 and the 88, they were pretty much lockstep right from the get-go. Look at that big move by the 32. He wants to get to the top here to try to have a chance to get to the front. He thinks, oh, that's the place to be. A little bit of contact there. The 998 and the 48. Now they squeeze 3 wide here. He's got room. He gets back up in time. We'll go back to the front right now. Gabe just a nose ahead of Cody through 3 and 4. At the line, looks like Gabe's going to lead that lap. 2 to go here at Atlanta. If they can get one more lap here, we will get the white flag. At that point, it's an official race, and they can race back to the checkered. However, of course, if a caution comes out before that happens, we'll have to rack them up and do it up to 3 times. So basically, if they can get to this white flag, at that point, it is an official race. And, of course, pending any penalties or anything like that, that will be the final race result. So we'll see how it goes here. So far, knock on wood, looks like everybody's minding their P's and Q's. And yes, white flag is out. Final lap of the race here at Atlanta. Oh, Raymond Rittenauer, big hit into the outside wall. Just able to squeeze inside of him was the 48 there. And look at the 14. He gets to the outside now, and it's going to be a drag race. So far, no third lane takers yet. I really thought we'd see it here coming through 3 and 4, but nobody. Everybody's kind of committed to the 2 lane here. It looks like it's going to be between Gabe and Cody as we come through 3 and 4 for the final time. Looks like a big push to the outside line. It will be Gabe Butler as they all spin behind. Oh, big hit there for the 5 of Richard Sanchez. And, oh, man, these guys are just pinballing off of each other here. But it is going to be that 88 Gabe Butler getting the win over Cody Nagels here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Wild finish there. Didn't get the 3x3 finish at the end, but a good run for these two. You see Cody giving Gabe a congratulatory bump there. And Gabe going to do what he does best, and that's, well, first he wants to make sure he gets through the line, make sure he gets, I think he may actually have been able to run a clean race here, so he wants to make sure he gets those bonus points tonight. But he is going to celebrate here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway in that number 88 Guinness machine. And it looks like it was a close finish there for third. And while we watch Gabe here, I'll say we'll jump back real quick to the run to the checkers here. And we'll run it down back pretty much in super slow-mo. But I want to focus on this battle for third because I'm pretty sure from third on back, nobody finished pointing in the right direction here. So we'll pick up just pace just a little bit. And then what you're going to see here is, yeah, just everybody's kind of squeezing, trying to push, trying to shove. And then the little bit of contact back and forth between the couple of them. And right here, this is the battle at the line. And yeah, it looks like Richard Sanchez is going to grab that third spot due kind of to the fact that That number 40 was a little bit sideways there at the finish line, but not much he can do at that point. He's kind of just along for the ride. But yeah, so going to be a third for that number 5 machine over Rick Sanchez, and then sideways along goes the 40, followed by the 32, then the 10. And like I said, just kind of a pile here, and then everything kind of goes a little crazy there. But let's jump back here because let's watch some celebration here from our number 88 of Gabe Butler, because he's gotten kind of accustomed to doing these really impressive burnouts here. So let's get a live view of his. He can show off his talent here. I say he's probably been doing it for about 30 seconds already, knowing him. So we'll probably be able to get a pretty good view of the tire marks here. Looks like he's going to work his way through the Legends Oval on its way probably to his pit road on his pit crew, I should say, on pit road. Like I said, this guy does not need any extra practice doing burnouts here. So with that, we will grab our top 3 finishers, and we're going to kick it off with our 3rd place finisher. And I guess, I mean, that's a pretty good run for Mr. Rick Sanchez. I say getting a win on Thursday at Atlanta, following it up with the podium here tonight in that Chevy Land number 5 Chevy Silverado. Rick, you had to kind of come back. You got caught up in an early incident there on the backstretch, and then kind of had to do some recovery driving. Did it take most of the race to get you back where you wanted and needed to be, or kind of how did the race play out for you to finally kind of be in a potential position for a good finish here tonight?
Away with repairing it instead of taking it fast, and unfortunately we were running too good. Not enough yellows, to get caught up, and on a short track like this, you don't have as much time to repair. So I ended up go ahead, take the fast repair, and then, that's when I started making up ground. And then I got a little there at the end, and I think that was enough that I didn't have a good run. Once I got to the outside there up front, I couldn't get a good run going then. Or I don't know who was behind me. I can't remember now, but wasn't quite getting what I think I could have if I'd have had a clean car.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looked like you're getting pretty much everything you could out of that thing. Especially, like I said, especially on that last tree start. I mean, you guys were pushing and shoving, and it was everything you could do to try to keep those things pointed straight, it felt like. And I think you were close to that big wreck where we were looking at it on the replay, and there were 3 trucks in the span of 2 of the lane markings at Atlanta, and so you see like a lane and a half to the top of them, and so it kind of made me think about where we were joking pre-race, where it's like, all right, you guys saw the Cup race, let's not go 4 wide, and I think there may have been a couple potential 4 wide attempts there at the end.
I don't know. All I know is I saw the smoke and everything, so I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, that's probably definitely one you prefer seeing in your mirror there. But then as we're watching you cross the finish line, you got to cross third, but the truck's a bit of a write-off, it looks like, at this point.
Yeah, I was surprised. I got the third. I was just trying to push Cody as hard as I could, Like I said, I think I was lacking a little bit there at the end.
Well, it definitely wasn't for a lack of effort.
I don't know how much damage I had before that big end at the end, but
it didn't look, I say, from where I was watching, it didn't look too bad. But again, like these things are definitely some pretty sensitive.
It's percentages,
Yeah, it depends on where it is. And
instead of 100%, it's 95.
Yeah. Well, I say you like I said, it wasn't for a lack of effort on your part, because you were going after, and it was a great job here tonight. I say a couple of people rooting you on here tonight on YouTube as well. So always love to see you have the support from your friends and family. So I definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that 3rd place here tonight.
First and foremost, I always shout out to Area 51 for the league, putting on a good league. Shout out to Green White Checker putting on a good broadcast. Shout out to is it 4D Racewear?
Yes, sir.
Sponsor. And shout out to all the other drivers. I know everybody tries their best, and it's all about having fun. So, and I had fun tonight. So.
Nah, so that's like I said, that's definitely the goal in these ones, and it was a lot of fun to watch you guys put on the show. I had a little bit of a hiccup to kick off the broadcast, but we got it in around maybe lap 3 or so. But yeah, great job though tonight, man, and looking forward to seeing more of you the rest of the season.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so now we're going to flip it over if all's working correctly, and it is, and that is going to be to our runner-up tonight, and that is the 06 of Cody Nagels, able to hop on over here tonight and do some super speeder racing. At some points, you were looking great because you had you and Vicente, you guys were kind of locked on with each other, and then just with all the kind of the chaos there towards the end, unfortunately, so you got through. Unfortunately, Vicente caught up, and just you guys couldn't quite get hooked up together at the end to try to work some magic with the two of you as the teammates. But I mean, a good race for you tonight. You were pretty much up front in contention all night long. That green flag pit stop, like I said, you guys get through it. It's like, all right, let's see what's going to do, and then unfortunately, the caution comes out right after that. But there was a big mixed bag of strategies I was watching between 2 tires, field only, 4 tires. I believe you were one of the 4-tire trucks on that green flag stop. Was that one of those? Maybe it's a short-term hurt, but a long-term gain for the pit stop. Or I mean, take us through the strategy because this is definitely a track where tires do matter.
Yeah, I think my strategy behind it anyway is kind of like you were saying. It's just you're kind of losing track position in the short term, but if it stays green in that scenario, I knew we were going to run down the 2-tire guys. I have no doubt because the trucks on 4 tires are just really, really fast. That's, I think, as a field and individually, I want to say everyone was running their fastest laps on fresh tires, which, only makes sense. So off of the green flag pit stop, we had broke a decent portion of the field, I want to say. I hadn't really counted or really cared to look, but it looked like it got the field pretty well spread out. And then there was the 3 guys up front that had took 2 tires, and I was like, well, we're connected by like 5 or however many. And I figured, we'd just run them down pretty quick. But tires come into play here a lot more. We're not used to seeing tires really be a factor, but you really got to think about it, and you got to think about how you save that right front throughout the run.
Yeah, no, it showed because too, like you said, there's a lot of times someone would try to pull the 3rd lane off, but it was kind of a midway through the run or something like that where the tires started to wear and it was almost like you said, like it almost looked like the right front just didn't have that grip and it kind of just would almost wash out on entry and they would kind of catch the wall and then have to try to recover, and of course the field all bunching up reacting to it. So it's obviously of the super speeder races, it's obviously the tightest track with the 1.5 mile. Probably, I don't know if it says the same width as Daytona. It feels, at least to me, it feels a lot narrower. But yeah, it seemed like it was definitely tough to pull that 3rd line off, and then of course you have to have that decision of where do you want to be, top or I guess in this case middle or bottom. Or at least I feel like the top lane was you had to work your way forward. That's where you went. Like, did you have a lane was like, okay, if I have the option, I want to be here, or was it just I'm gonna either you're happy with either as long as you got the clean air?
I think I was just happy as long as I got the clean air because off the restart, it looked like which is weird because the bottom lane, it felt like it was pretty dominant all night, whereas normally it's the middle lane. But with Gabe being above me and Pete, I didn't really feel like it was right to go up and then kind of shift them back a lane. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep the clean air and I'm content to just race it out with Gabe. And then, I'm probably ensuring myself no worse than 2nd or 3rd. And, I'd like to get back in the win column in Area 51, but just patience and, racking up the top 5s and the win will come.
Yeah, that's what we usually say. Like, we'll have those guys, and that's like, I mean, I've been able to watch you race plenty, and definitely, obviously, been able to see what you've been able to do, which has been really fun to see you get some of those really big wins. So definitely, once again, congrats on that as well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just these races, you've got to obviously put yourself in position, and just sometimes you just got to wait for that break to happen. And like I said, yeah, it's kind of a no doubt that at some point that break's going to come. But I say we're only, I think, a quarter or so of the way through, or about a third of the way, I should say, through the season. So plenty more racing to go. But yeah, definitely a great job tonight, Cody, getting that runner up, and want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that result.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast and helping, support the Area 51, and all the admins for what they do behind the scenes. Vince for being my longtime teammate, and I kind of chilled in the Bootnaka Discord tonight, so appreciate them guys. And you know, the bigger wins really to me aren't even possible without polishing up running against the guys that's in the field like tonight, man. It really makes it all possible, and it improves us night in and night out, and gives us an opportunity to even be competitive in those bigger races. So just shout out to everyone at Area 51 for the race, man. I had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, you guys put on a great show tonight. So great job tonight, Cody. Looking forward to seeing more of you the rest of the season, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Put back with them. All right, so I like to say in these ones, Death, Taxes, and Gabe Butler finding a way to get a win in the Area 51 Racing League. And Gabe, I saw you do that extra lap there at the end. Usually that's a telltale sign that you were able to keep that nice looking shiny Guinness truck clean from start to finish. So is that the case here tonight, sir?
No, somewhere I got a 4X, and I'm not sure where, but it's okay. I was just looking back to see where I got it, and I don't know. No big deal. We won the race.
So you still you still get the win here tonight, but I mean it was an eventful one tonight. I mean a lot of stuff going on. Unfortunately I had a little bit of hiccups on my end. I believe getting the pole tonight, so that's a bonus point in your pocket there. Obviously, at least leading a lap, getting the win, but obviously did more than that. And then getting the win. So I mean it's one of those just about max points nights at a very challenging track, but you had a lot of friends and teammates around you for good portions of the race, but it kind of changed throughout the course. There was times where it was you and Kevin, you and Peter, you and Eric. So it was like and then Ray at some points too. So like it kind of jumped around for which guys you were kind of locked on with at various points in the race with everything going on. Was that one of those like races where it's like almost a relief or a comfort? Like, all right, I've got someone that I know and trust. Kind of like just right with me at when you kind of were peeking around. Okay, maybe it's time to do something. Okay, let me see who I got. All right, cool, we're good. Like, is that one of those things like, oh, this is nice. I got my dudes right here.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. But also, it's you're comfortable when you know who's behind you pushing, and you're comfortable if you know the person in front, even if it's not a teammate. So the whole evening, I pretty much got lucky with people behind me and in front of me. So, I mean, overall, just really looked out. And I think a lot of the swapping back and forth, getting caught up in the field, going back, that was trying to figure out pit tire strategy, stuff like that. And, that last caution put me on the outside, which I was kind of hoping for, because later on in the runs, the outside seems to get the better run, and then early on in a run, the bottom line seems to be dominant. So the whole thing just worked out really well for me, and I got a great push there from Peter at the end to get me across the line first.
Yeah, and it was a really good job. And saying we were able to catch you kind of live mid burnout. We were kind of teasing, saying you've had a lot of practice nailing down your burnout skills, but I got to go back a portion of the race because it wasn't just the burnouts. You did some impressive job. You had a really good wreck avoidance as well, where there was a big pileup. I think it was in 3 and 4, and you kind of were able to kind of just wiggle your way through and kind of come out, and there's just clean sky in front of you kind of a thing. Was that one of those close your eyes and hope, or were you kind of wheeling and dealing the whole way there?
Honestly, it's a little bit of both. I mean, you started off wheeling and dealing, then all you see is a ton of smoke and a ton of cars in front of you, and then you kind of close your eyes and hold the wheel a bit tighter, and then you're waiting for it to hear that bang and smash, and your truck either upside down or facing the wall or whatever, and somehow I just ended up getting through it. Just absolutely pure Irish luck right there. But maybe that's where I got the 4X. I don't know.
So yeah, you had the luck of the Guinness on your side here tonight in that really good looking paint scheme. But yeah, hell of a job tonight, Gabe, pulling off, like I said, getting the pole, getting the win. and a really good run from start to finish tonight, man. So definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that win this evening.
Obviously, all the guys that ran with tonight, too many to name, but they all know who they are, and it's just a fun group, and we're all talking it up in there and figuring out strategies and racecraft at the same time. And of course, you guys up there in the booth, fantastic job. Look forward to looking back at this one too, and of course, Area 51 in general, and all the drivers that came out tonight. Without the drivers, we wouldn't have this league, and I know people get upset with certain things, but my advice is just let it go, suffer the bad race, and come back next week and race hard again.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a few drivers definitely had those races to forget tonight, but yeah, and that's just sometimes you're gonna have a bad night from time to time. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, almost just about 30 trucks. Unfortunately, definitely missed. Dude was hoping he could make it here on time, was not able to do so. But 29 trucks taking the green here tonight was definitely a good show. And yeah, don't mind the very beginning of the broadcast where there was some sort of a technical hiccup, and so we kind of caught you guys around. I think it was around lap 3 or so. So. You know how that goes sometimes, but
yeah.
But no, great job though tonight, Gabe. Definitely go enjoy this one. Go see if you can maybe have a little extra Irish luck here before bed, and go celebrate with your team, man.
All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, so that is our race winner in the number 88 of Gabe Butler. And before we go anywhere else, we need to pull up our final results. So we'll kind of watch a little bit more of this burnout from a different angle, if you will. He's down there somewhere in the smoke. We'll get a better shot. There he is. But we got to pull up our final results here for tonight. Getting the win is Gabe Butler, followed by Cody Nagels there, and then it was 0.06 of a second between Rick Sanchez and Pierre DeBorgia for that podium spot. Seth Gruber rounds out our top 5, followed by Jason Bogart, Vicente Guerrero, Ryan Decker, Carl Lingle, and Eric Laurie getting top 10s here this evening. Then you got a couple of blind squirrels there right after that in 11th and 12th. Corey Buskirk and Jeremy Osborne. Raymond Rittenauer bringing back his 87 machine to Area 51, finishes in 13th. Nick Wing, Kevin Fries are top 15. Then Frank Ranger Jr., Hondo Longmire, and Nathan Warner rounding out our 18th drivers. And we got some more to cycle through here. Again, great field here tonight. Mike Rimkiss, unfortunately. Nathan Warner, our first driver, 1 lap down. I should mention as well, Mike Rimkiss also 1 down. Jacob Lee, unfortunately, trapped 2 down. Again, I think a pit penalty kind of cost him tonight. Todd Merkel as well, 2 down. And Ambrose Nabel, Patrick Groover, 3 and 4 laps down. Austin Calls 7 down from that late incident there. We saw him kind of up on his side. And as well, like I mentioned, some drivers just nice to forget, unfortunately, including Travis McQuistion, Buzz Steele, Jim Brooks, Brian Grimm. Tough evenings for them, and then an early retirement for Bob Fitzgerald in the 08, unfortunately. And then, like I mentioned, Dude Conrad just couldn't quite get here in time to make the race. Definitely, he was trying. I say we were talking pre-racing. He's like, I'm going to get there, do my best to get there. So I hate that you were able to make it here, dude, but hopefully you didn't get in trouble on the way trying to get here. So, again, really want to thank everybody for bearing with me tonight. A couple issues, hiccups here with the technology on the broadcast side of things, but got it squared away pretty quickly. So did the best we could with what we had there. So appreciate you all for tuning in with us. We will be back again on Tuesday night for the Dark Horse or Area 51 Dark Horse IndyCar Series. And then once more again Thursday night for the Thursday night Xfinity Super Speedway Series. Boomer Logan calling the shots over there on Thursday. So until then, hope you had a wonderful evening. And as always, if you can, take care, stay safe, and have a great night.